now tuned in to The Real and the Raw with Queen Renny.
All right, y'all. Welcome back. It's your girl, Queen Renny, and you are tuned into The Real and the Raw. I hope this week was nothing but success for you, and if it wasn't, I'm sending all the love and positivity your way. But in all spirits of keeping it real and raw, excuse my attire, y'all, because this is me straight off of work. I work with kids. So, yes, but like my shirt says, black is beautiful, so it doesn't matter. But anyways, let's start this episode off with my favorite segment of the show. So let's get real and let's get raw with this week's Real Read Back segment. Okay. So look, remember how last week I told you guys that you guys could comment on the YouTube or you could send me an email. So it looks like some folks took me up on that offer. So let's hear what they have to say. So I'm on the YouTube channel. And I'm going to give a few shout outs. So Alexa Martinez, hey girl, okay. She commented and said that she is so in love with the show and she couldn't wait for the next episode. Thank you so much, Alexa. I appreciate the love and support as always. Brandy Taylor, shout out to my cousin. She was the first person to comment, period, family first. But basically, so she had a comment about the cheating situation that we were talking about on the first episode. And so Brandy said, in my opinion, cheating is anything that you are doing to entertain someone else in a flirting manner while being in a relationship. So to me, or to her, that includes texting, social media, sexual activities, etc. So basically kind of summed up my feelings on it too. If you with somebody, you need to be looking at them and only them and talking to them and only them in a flirting manner. But let's keep going, y'all. I'm already loving this so much. Okay, I knew this was going to be the best part. Okay, so my girl Rihanna said she loves it. Thank you for the support. You always been my girl since Stanislaus days. Whew, Lord. Anyways, Amari Shakur, hey, what's up? I miss you. I haven't seen you since Sacramento. Hey, Queen, I'm so proud of you. Thank you. Proud of you too. You always been doing the work. Judy J, I'm not sure that we know each other, but hi, nice to meet you. This may be the first time you're seeing me. But thank you for the comment. Judy J said, great. Oh yeah, the relationship discussion. Looking forward to the next episode. Girl, wasn't it juicy? I know, real and raw. Okay, we have a few more here, y'all. So my sister, Lexi, she said she loved it and also proud of me. Thank you. Look at this. I'm appreciating all of this love and support. This is crazy. Okay. Amaria. Okay, so Amaria had a comment about the relationship thing too. She said, great job, Sharon. Love the podcast. Thanks, cousin. I never dated anyone, but of course, being in Generation Z, so she's a little bit younger. A lot of people in my circle at the time, like if they're in a relationship, I believe cheating is when you are giving someone else attention that is not your partner. So kind of like what Brandy said. Okay, so that to me is huge. So let's talk about that for a minute. It seems like the comments that we have so far on the YouTube, are either showing love and support, which I appreciate, or pretty much just saying if you're already with someone, talking to someone, or in a relationship with someone, no matter what the stage is, it seems like to me they're saying it's important to be honest. So if you're in the talking phase and you want to be able to talk to other people, say that so that everybody knows what they're getting themselves into. Or if you want to be downright in a relationship, do that. But if you're still trying to mingle, flirt with other people, then don't tie yourself down. Like, live your best life without hurting somebody else in the process, okay? I'm just saying. Okay, so that's it for the YouTube comments for this part of the Real Read Back segment. But let's go to our email and see if we got any anonymous comments. Okay, so we got one. So this person said, I'll be putting my 2 cents in and I love it. I used to cheat like a MFA But the cleats, I hung up the cleats and retired. Like I used to be nasty, like booty butt nasty is what this person had to say. So, I mean, hey, more power to you. Do you? I mean, as long as it fits into the things that I was saying earlier about, you know, everybody is aware of the situation. Everybody knows what they're getting into so that nobody, you know, gets their feelings hurt or so that nobody comes up, you know, with a little STD or something nasty. But so that's it for this segment on episode 2 of The Real Read Back. So be sure to comment on the YouTube or send me an email or on any of my socials, which I'll, you know, mention at the end of this show. But be sure to hit me up if you have any questions, comments, critiques, or if you just want to show me love, okay?
Don't wait to find what's in the past. Don't wait to see what's in love.
All right. So now that we have the fun out of the way, which I'm telling y'all, this is going to be my favorite part is the real read back because it's really real and raw. You're able to hear what other people have to say. So that way we're not only just getting one perspective on these things, you know what I mean? And I think it's very important to focus on structured dialogue and like hearing what other people have to say and really considering it and what it means to our ideas and, seeing if there's some form of common ground or understanding we can come to actually build a bridge in this world that's like been really trying to tear us apart. So moving on, today's topic though, ooh, Lord. Look, all right, y'all. So we gonna really dig in and talk about it. That something is a pretty touchy subject for most folks in the Black and brown community. And for some outside of that community as well. And that is the justice system. So I want to start by first reminding you all about the history of the justice system from the perspective of those who feel as though it's been failing them. So for decades, we have watched the justice system fail people of color, from allowing slavery, segregation, racism, to placing thousands of men of color in jail for nonviolent offenses, to police brutality, and to people being in jail for crimes they didn't even commit. Like, I don't know if y'all have really been seeing these articles that have been coming out lately of people getting out 40 years later for a crime that they actually didn't even commit. So pay attention to those things because that is real and it really does happen. And unfortunately, and it's happening at a higher rate to people of color. But let's not even talk about that portion. Like, there's way more to it than what I've listed so far. So like the war on drugs, and what it really was truly intended for is like one of the main reasons why you see so many people of color, especially males, in jail today. And don't worry, everything that I mentioned as far as statistics and history and stuff, I'll make sure to drop links, to some articles so you guys can like look this up and read for yourselves. But we'll save all of that part for another time. But what I want to focus on today is a popular topic right now on social media, y'all. And it's taking place in people's households. It's taking place over, you know, like I said, social media is taking place these conversations are taking place in the work, environment as well, because this is a huge topic. And though I may be a few weeks late on talking about it, I think it's still important, you know, to bring up today. So let's get real and let's get raw and let's talk about the Amber Geiger case. Okay. So look, if you're not ready for this, look, you better get ready. Okay. So that's right. We are going to shed some light on the woman who took the precious life of 26-year-old Botham Jean, who actually attended college at Harding University in Arkansas with my cousin. Botham was a wonderful young man who was devoted to Christ and sadly had his life unjustly taken from him by an off-duty police officer by the name of Amber Geiger. So if you aren't really up to date with that so far, that's, just the background of the situation. And so the trial ended a few weeks ago, but the situation is still creating like this huge conversation on social media due to the verdict and like the sentencing that she got. So Geiger was found guilty of murder. Let's just take a moment for that, because I really want us to sit on that. I know many of us didn't think she would even be found guilty at all. And if you're wondering why a lot of us felt that way, please rewind back to the part where I mentioned the history of of the justice system and how it's failing people of color. So with that in mind, a lot of us were like, I'm not even gonna lie, me included, was like, I mean, she may not even go to see any jail time. And if she does, it may only be, just some probation or something like that. So when they said that she was found guilty of murder, I was just like, cool. Okay. Maybe we are, making some strides, with the justice system and how it treats everyone fairly. But obviously it took a lot of, protesting and conversations, and people really fought hard for this conviction to even come about. And so people are definitely glad that it was received. Yet that's not the reason why a lot of folks are upset. A lot of folks are upset because of the sentencing. So yes, she was found guilty of murder, but a lot of people are mad at how long she's going to be spending time in jail. So Geiger only received 10 years for murdering another human being. Exactly. While there are people who are spending life sentences for crimes they, one, did not commit, and two, they're in jail for serving over 25 years for marijuana charges, so non-violent offenses. So when I found this out, I came to two conclusions. So basically, it was either white privilege or blue privilege. Not only is she a white woman, she is also a cop, which many believe is the reason she received such low sentencing, for such a horrendous crime. Like, you took a whole life and you're gonna get out of jail in the same years that you went in. So for instance, she's maybe say she's 30. She's going to get out before she's 40. Cause most of the time they let people out early like her. But anyways, I'm going to just keep it pushing and not say too much. But, and whether it's popular opinion or not, time and time again, we have seen black and brown people convicted at much harsher rates than we have white people, all while committing the same or even a lesser level crime. So when I was looking this up, y'all, and hold on, let me pull it up so I'm speaking facts. So when I was looking this up, I found this article on the United States Sentencing Commission website from 2017. Okay, so like I said, I will be dropping the links to these articles and anything that I say to, back it up with real facts. But this article basically said that black male offenders receive sentences on average 19.1% longer than similarly situated white male offenders. And a report that my colleague talked about on her YouTube channel, Selena's Musings. If you aren't already subscribed to her channel, go on there. It's called Selena's Musings. But something that she mentioned on her YouTube was that the U.S. has racial disparities within its criminal justice system. So a report that she found done this year by the UN states that broad statistics mask the racial disparity that pervades the U.S. criminal justice system, and for African Americans in particular. So African Americans are more likely than white Americans to be arrested. Once arrested, they are more likely to be convicted. And once convicted, they are more likely to experience lengthy prison sentences. African American adults are 5.9 times as likely to be incarcerated than whites, and Hispanics are 3.1 times as likely. So as of 2001, one of every 3 black males born in that year could expect to go to prison in his lifetime. Let's just stop right there and talk about that. So there's more to this article, but I kind of want to point out how important that is. So I want to state that one more time, that last part. As of 2001, so literally in this decade, not even that long ago, these numbers came out to say that 1 of every 3 black boys in that year could expect to go to prison in his lifetime. So that's literally okay, that's more than half of my cousins. Like right there, that's half my family right there. So that's just crazy if we really take it back and think about the numbers of African Americans that are in jail. So mothers, fathers, cousins, all because they're black, or all because they don't have the money to bail themselves out, but they actually are innocent. So I'm not sure if y'all are even aware of that. There are literally people who are sitting in jail. It is known that they are innocent. They've committed no crime. But since they're already in jail, they now have to pay to get out. But most people can't afford to get out of jail. Like, how crazy does that even sound? Jail is such a moneymaker that you have to pay to get out, even though you didn't deserve to be there in the first place. That is what I was talking about in the beginning, where I mentioned how the justice system has time and time again failed its people, and especially its people of color. This is why it's so important to talk about these things, because if maybe people out there who aren't aware of this, now they're becoming aware of this, and now they can be allies in helping change this so that people's lives aren't dictated by the color of their skin any longer. Because my God, I'm tired of it. It's been going on for years, as we see. So like I said, I will drop the link to the articles that I read that brought up this information. But I also want to encourage you guys to dig deeper than that, to really, look up the legislation that allows things like this to happen, because it's not like people are doing it secretly. Like it's in the writing, all the way back to what's it called? The Constitution, or is it the Emancipation? I don't know. One of them things that the old white people signed back in the day. It even says when slavery ended, that you're only free if you hadn't committed a crime. So if you committed a crime, then you weren't free. You didn't have rights like voting. You didn't have rights like getting a driver's license or a passport or things like that make up, being a human in the United States. Well, that's literally what going to jail does to these people. So all it is just a new form of slavery. But like I said, I want y'all to look this up on your own, come to your own conclusions and perspectives on this. Tell me, even if you think I'm completely wrong and just BSing this, comment and let me know on the YouTube channel, or send me an email, because this dialogue, it's the reason why I'm doing this podcast, to open up our minds to new subjects and new possibilities.
Don't wait to find what's in the past. Don't wait to see what's in love.
Ooh, yeah, that's what I want y'all to do. Just, let it go. Cause I know that was real, right? That was real and raw. So let's just keep it going. And make sure y'all are debriefing, you know what I mean? Because these conversations are coming up a lot. And they're so prevalent, and they're so huge and groundbreaking to be having these types of conversations, but also make sure that you're taking time for yourself to process. So I want to shift gears in this case really quickly and talk about another hot topic that's been circling around on social media, and maybe in some of y'all houses as well. So I don't know if y'all heard about how the judge and the bailiff consoled the murderer, because that's all I'm going to refer to her as from now on, is the murderer. So, hey, call it how you see it, right? Real and raw. But baby, okay, look. Folks is going in on the judge and the bailiff, who are both black women, about how they consoled the murderer. And what I mean by that is like them hugging her and look. So basically people are calling it sympathizing with their oppressors. Okay. So a lot of folks went in on Botham's brother as well, because he said he forgave her and he hugged her too. Right. But in my opinion, he too is a victim, and I will not judge anyone for how they choose to process or heal. And quite frankly, I really try not to judge people in general, but I'm only human just like y'all. But he's a kid. Like, come on now. I'm not going to judge him. He just lost his brother. He's trying to, process this in the best way he can with the young mind that he has. So I'm going to just leave him alone. But as for the other two, who were at work in their professional setting and decided not only to console, but to create a dialogue with a convicted murderer. That's just crazy to me. Like, look, sis, what was you thinking? Like, I'm trying to make the pieces fit, and they just not fitting, but maybe they're just not supposed to because it ain't my life or my issue. But Lord, okay, so, I mean, not only is it unprofessional and uncalled for, it's plain out sad, if you're asking me. They chose to ignore the John family in their time of need. So they didn't go over to Botham's family and give them a hug or brush their hair or offer them a Bible, because they need it as well. What they decided to do was give their attention and love to someone who had just, murdered one of their own. And so I'm gonna stop right there because I know a lot of y'all are like, what does she mean? Murdered their own? It's just a person. Yes, but let's not lie and let's not play and let's not keep up with what this show is about and it being real and raw. It hits a little harder when your own people who look like you, people who could be you, people who could be your children or your grandchildren or your nephews or nieces. When it's people who look like you and you can relate to on a deep level, it hits a little bit harder. So for them to totally deny that aspect of themselves, that's a hard thing to process for another Black woman in this world. There's just no other way around that for me. I mean, yeah, I don't know. But I try to realize, okay, if they're people who, also believe in God, like Botham's brother, and they're trying to show forgiveness or whatever. Maybe they wanted to use this as an opportunity to bring her closer to God and show, the unwavering love of God for his children. Maybe that's what they were trying to send a message on. But okay, write her a letter when she in there or something. But to do that in front of his family, I feel like it's on a totally, different level. But speak on it in the comments if you got something to say about it, okay? Because this just blows my mind. But okay, anywho, it also leads me to question if the judge has ever done such things before, for Black people, that she is convicted of crimes, especially of murder, or if this is something that she does for everyone. Cause if this is just general practice, then hey, that's you, boo. But if she truly made an exception for this woman, man, post-traumatic slave syndrome. It's real, people. And it should remind us that everyone that looks like us don't think like us. But quite honestly, that's okay. We have to start to be okay with the fact that everybody isn't us and we can't expect us from other people. Everybody is their own person, has their own mind, has their own, experiences which builds their perspectives. So it's just a reminder. Everybody that look like you don't think like you, but it doesn't mean they're any less or more than you. Okay. So we don't have to think uniformly. But once we, do see who's really down for us, move accordingly. Okay. And to add insult to injury though, the judge was getting support. I don't know if y'all know this. Okay. So I might be letting y'all in on something juicy. The judge was getting support from the police department that Geiger worked for, because she's up for re-election or whatever for her, her job or whatever her title is. I don't even know, y'all. So what I'm thinking is like, maybe that's why she went out of her way to support the murderer so that she could still have their support. But political move or not, sis, you are not invited to my barbecue. Okay. And that is just that on that.
Don't wait to find what's in the past. Don't wait to see what's in the love.
Oh, Lord. Talk about getting real and raw, y'all. That convo had me sweating. Y'all can't tell, but I was hot and bothered under this sweater, but still Black and beautiful. Okay. But I mean, I guess, you gotta take these things seriously, because life is nothing to play with. I mean, we can't get both of them back, right? His brother can never see his brother again. His mother can never see her son, and his father can never see his son, and so on and so forth. And this is why I think it's important to have, like I said, these structured dialogues, because if you already thinking negatively about someone or a certain race or religion or class, everything that you do around them is going to be altered based on that perception that you have of them. So if you already, for instance, think that all black women are angry, every time you come encounter with them, you're going to be thinking about that and waiting for them to give you the reaction to confirm your beliefs, because everybody wants their beliefs to be confirmed because that validates you and your feelings. But that's not okay. We have to treat every single person we come across as they're their own person with their own ideas, perceptions, and experiences. Yeah, let's keep this convo going during the next episode of The Real Readback, though. I'm really interested to see what you guys have to say about this, because this was, this episode 2. And we already really get into some super touchy topics for some folks. So make sure you dive into the comment section of our YouTube channel, at Queen Renny Barnes, or email us at realthenletterin.rawqr@gmail.com. You can also message me on my Instagram. So that's at Queen Renny _ and it's Renny with 2 N's. So my Instagram is at Queen Renny _ and my Facebook is Sharon Darlene Barnes. If you don't know how to spell it, look it up, okay? But basically what I want you guys to tell me is, what are your thoughts on, this case? Should we consider this a win no matter the sentence? Like, should we just be glad that a murderer has been convicted of her crime, or should we be fighting for her to actually serve time that fits the crime? What are your thoughts on our current social justice system? Do you believe in white or blue privilege? Is that real, or is Queen Renny just tripping? Have you ever experienced anything mentioned in today's episode? Or do you have any questions for me and my thoughts on the system, or any experiences that I've had with it? Do I think the judge was wrong? Do you believe in post-traumatic slave disorder? I would really just love to hear what y'all have to say, so that the Real Readback segment of episode 3 is as lit as today's was, okay? And although I love, the support that y'all are showing me in the comments, address the situation at hand, okay, y'all? Black folks just get on my nerves. But, so subscribe to this podcast on YouTube at The Real and the Raw. I'm lying, y'all. Subscribe to this podcast on YouTube, at Queen Renny Barnes. So actually I mixed that up because I realized that I let you guys know that I would be on Apple Podcasts at The Real and the Raw. But that's taking a little bit longer. We had to have a little bit more of the episodes recorded. So we get in there. I will let you know when I'm officially on Apple Podcasts. But for now, to clarify, you can catch me on YouTube, at Queen Renny Barnes. And then I already gave you guys my social media. The email again is realthenletterin.rawqr@gmail.com. So hit us up for any comments or questions that you want anonymous on the email, and anything that you want me to give you a shout out for, comment on the YouTube. Okay. So, with that being said, let's wrap up this episode with a positive vibe. In the words of the late, great Sean E. Washington II and my big brother, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and reflect. It'll be all right. Most of the time, things work out fine if you just relax your mind. Catch us next time. Sending peace and love. Queen Renny out.